On many occasions when we look at pawn endgames, we're going to find out some more complex type of positions, just like this one here. The reason why it's more complex is because there are quite a few different pawns, of many imbalances within the pawn structure, and actually even weaknesses, like the weak pawns of c4 and c6 for black that are first doubled, and secondly, they could turn out into pretty big weakness. So we really want to find out, what we really want to see in this position is what is really the best resource, how white can complicate, how he can use the powerful or more valuable king, and the worst pawn structure for black. The first move is pretty obvious. I mean, obviously going back wouldn't help. He'll just go up, we go back, he goes up, we go back, he goes up, maybe we can push him back. But then, ultimately we can never pass through the b4 and a4 squares that black will constantly keep just by waiting, by keeping his own king on b5 and a5 on his own. So he'll just keep it there, and he'll never let us pass. So naturally, for the first move is d5, and it is pretty obvious. We've got to do it. That actually helps white to get ready for king d4 to attack black's pawns. Now this in some ways not bad, because it kind of forces black to do c5, and as a result of that we are getting the ability to move our king through and get it through the a line. This is good, as now we are having that d pawn as a very strong passer. So should black try to oppose and cut off that square, we can always push the pawn and make him to go back and cover it, so our king can penetrate. In any case, that's not so simple. I mean, obviously black will go king b7. He'll actually try to approach the pawn as quickly as possible. We get king b2, king d6, and then after king a3, king takes d5, king a4, king d6, king b5, and king d5. Now black's intention is clear. When our king pushes, black's king is going to go back. If our king attacks the pawn, he is considering quite capable to defend them. So the question really is, white got what he needed. He sacrificed the sort of useless pawn to penetrate and break through into black's territory with his king. So now it's really about one thing. Does white have a chance to prove an advantage here? Or perhaps black will just equalize, and this is it. What do you think in this position? Does white have a chance to win? Sure thing, white needs to play king a5. The whole point of it is to really take away the opposition from black. Like, for example, when we play king a5, we really force him to go anywhere. And wherever he goes, we can see that the opposition will be made. The opposition is such a valuable concept, and it works as a great possibility for any type of tactics. Like, if the black king goes down, we actually make that very smart triangle, which allows us to take the opposition, and he's the one who has to move, which ultimately means that actually we're going to go to c7, push him back, and then after king c6, collect each of the pawns one after another. The other interesting thing about that is that if black plays with king e6, we are able to go with king a6, and we realize that black will still lose the opposition. Now we have this so-called long opposition when there are 3 squares in between the kings, and necessarily he has to get the king out of the way. d5 will mean c7, anywhere else will mean c5, and this is it. Very powerful direction with king a5 on how we can really force the opponent's king to move somewhere onto an unfavorable position, and that gives white the victory.